Good. It's bright and sunny. There's snow, but it's sunny, so I'm happy. Sun always makes me happy. Exciting topic today, and I'm just delighted to talk about a topic that I think both you and I really enjoy or
Mhm.
love talking about, and it's such a big deal. So it was kind of fascinating when people gave us their feedback on the barriers to exercise. I wanted to share some of this while we're waiting for people to join in. And folks, when you join, just please say hello and hi. So I saw this, had a tough time finding motivation to work out last week. And I think it's hard to stay motivated. Maybe you can take the next one.
Due to COVID, it's difficult to find somewhere safe and yet warm to exercise. Now that the weather's turned cold, I think it's something that we're all trying to figure out how to remain active.
Absolutely. Sick over a week with nausea vomiting, and life will always come in the way of what we do. So definitely felt sorry for that person.
We've got a couple people coming in. Hey guys, thanks for joining, Casey and Cassie.
Yeah, somebody was struggling with her, and we feel for you as well. Can definitely come in the way. There are some exercises that can help with the pain. Maybe we'll talk about. And then getting motivated weather is nasty. So the barriers, and I'll tell you, some I don't have the motivation either. But good news is today, Jamie and I will focus on this a lot and really to micro. How do we these barriers and just make exercise a way of living, a way of life? So that's what I'm excited about, Jamie. And I think it's about time. So we could get started. And everyone, welcome to our presentation today. The topic today is exercise. Really, when you think of the cornerstone of great diabetes management, we talked about nutrition last time and exercise this time. I want to remind you, when you all filled out the survey last week, this is what you said. We had about 60 responses. Majority of them talked about increasing the amount of exercise I do per week. And by the way, these surveys guide our conversation because that's how we're going to focus on things today. How do we increase the amount of exercise? And this is what you all said in terms of duration. Many of you said 1 hour per week, then many more started talking 2 hours a week, 30%, a half, and 3 hours and 4 hours. So that's really cool. And then also people at different levels. So as you can see, and I think the great thing about this is what you want to do, this is what you think is realistic. So you can see almost a cartwheel with all goals about equally there. And that's what we are here to do today. All right, we'll get started. Did you know that a lot of memberships are purchased free, and then about 8% of them will quit within 5 months? 5 months, 80%. So only 1 in 5 remains using this months. And we are outing that. This must change. Of course, many people take gym membership this year. Probably. This is the data. So what are we going to do? First, we will talk about how to get moving, get activity and exercise, stay moving, and then really about the barriers that I told about in the beginning. So that's how we're going to talk about things. And I'll just introduce myself. I'm Dr. Bhargava, Dr. B, endocrinologist, very interested in diabetes, doing everything I can against diabetes, and out here to change diabetes in Iowa. So I'm just delighted you guys are here. And I'll introduce Jamie Pitlick, PharmD, who's also very passionate about diabetes. So Jamie, here you are. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and be able to see you and so forth. Welcome.
Welcome, Vicki. Welcome, Britton. I'm so glad you guys are able to make it today as we're talking about exercise. I'm excited to be here. Randy, familiar face, glad to see you back. So I just wanted to say how motivated I was by the posts that a lot of you had made over the last week. So the challenge of this week was all talking about, and we had viewers post to our Facebook all the delicious that they made. We just picked some 3 good-looking meals. If yours is up there, fantastic. I thought these looked, and actually some of the viewers are recipes. So our very own Casey posted this recipe that I can't wait to. And so actually utilize the resource for help. We are going to talk more about exercise right now, making sure motivated, but make sure to until the end of the Facebook Live so that you can challenges for next. As we get started, I want to hear from you guys. We want to know how many minutes per week do you exercise? And you can just answer A, B, C, D, E, or F, to let us know where are you in the world of exercise. I mean, it depends on the week. I think most weeks I'm around E. Sometimes I make it to F. Dr. B.
Because of my early morning meetings, which I combine with this, I have a pretty good idea. I think most weeks I'm at F. But where I'm sadly failing is all of that is aerobic activity. And we'll talk today about exercise has to be a combination of a few things. So I may be getting a good letter here, grade F, so as to say, but on the other hand, not in the right way in my mind. I see Breton talk D. I see an A with Wiki, Casey as a E. Cassie, A2.
But the thing with Casey, before the challenge, she was an A. So, right?
Okay.
So far in 2021, it's an E. So I think that's fantastic. And I think there was another one that Cassie said that she went from an A to a B. So maybe somewhere in that range of about an hour. A lot of A's. Alden's an F. Ryan's a C. Tammy's an A. So we're going to find out some of your guys' barriers today. And that's going to be something, I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, where we're going to talk about some of the most common barriers that we see as we talk to patients. And we want to hear what your barriers are and how can I move you from an A to a B. I probably won't move you an A to an F right away, right? But can I move you from an A to a B? And I want to see if we can make some progress on that.
And here's the thing. I think everybody is different. Whatever we say today, do make sure it works for you, it's personalized to you. Like Vicky mentioned the comment, the stamina is not back. And that's okay. Take it easy. Do what you can and slowly make progress. Rome was not built in a day, right? We can't go from 0 to a marathon a month either. So,
and any of the workouts that, I'm not going to do a workout. Sometimes we do these exercise ones and I have workouts all planned. I've got a few exercises that we'll run through and they're things that can be modified for any level. You can add weight to them or you can do them with your body weight and for all levels. So I've got some different ideas on things that I've done as I've gone through my fitness journey from extremely unfit to a little bit better. And what I've done to help myself with that. So the first thing that I wanted to touch on were what are the simple things? How can you move yourself from an A to maybe a B? And it's the small changes in your life. It's parking at the farthest parking spot, not the closest to the door, even if the one closest to the door is the option. It's it's not taking the elevator. It's taking the stairs and not the elevator as long as you're able to do that. It's thinking about vacuuming as exercise. How can you adjust your posture or the pace that you're vacuuming or dusting or cleaning your house and trying to make a routine out of it? And then I think getting friends or family involved. Can you go for a family walk? Where then you talk about your day during that family walk, or take your kids to the park and then not just sit on the bench at the park, but work with your kids and go down the slide with them or play tag with them. And it takes about 10 minutes. And then you're probably getting a lot of exercise and the heart rate is going up and you're having fun. So it's the simple things.
My favorite story on Get Family Involved is very relevant in the COVID times. So I had a patient who was very good about doing I think it was a bike in her basement, 45 minutes every single day. And so one day I asked her, I get a chance, I said, how are you so consistent? She says, I have a great relationship with my sister. She has an exercise bike. I have an exercise bike. We just go on this phone call. We just talk to each other and time flies. So make time fly, make exercise enjoyable. And you know why it's even more relevant? I learned this 10, 15 years ago. In the COVID time, it's especially important. You can't be in the same room with many people, and that's okay. Exercise in the distance. Everything is virtual. What about exercise groups being virtual? So I really like your Get Family Involved. But in this sense, I'm saying if somebody is solo or with two people, get a family or friend on a screen, smartphone, whatever, and exercise together. It makes it more fun. There are some comments, Jamie.
Yes, there are. So Randy said that he's been struggling since March when he is having some back issues. So he's had to stop some cardio exercise because of COVID. And so there might be some simple things that we can do. And Randy, check out some of the videos that we've posted with Jen through Collective Wellness. She's got a lot of different options and stretches and things. As Dr. B will talk about later, exercise is more than just cardio. There's a lot of things that you can do to keep your heart healthy. Britton, I agree. You took the stairs more often. It's awesome that you live on the 5th floor. So that would definitely get my heart pumping as well. Vicki, I watch does the same thing with my Fitbit. I have the Apple Watch where it tells me if I haven't moved enough every hour. And I keep that alarm on because I would sit all day if I'm working on a project and I get too focused.
Hey, Jamie, can you teach me how to do that after this?
Yes.
Because I think I could use that.
Yeah. And that was going to be my next recommendation. Everybody eats lunch. I have a horrible habit of eating lunch at my computer when I'm at work. What I have tried to do during COVID when I was working at home is I'd eat my lunch in the kitchen, and then I'd spend the next 10 minutes walking outside. And that got me so refreshed and energized for the afternoon. It's awesome, and it's something that I really need to get back into if I wasn't so worried about the cold. But I've actually walked up and down the halls of Iowa Diabetes when I just can't sit anymore. I'll go up and down or do around a little circle. So
have you figured out how many of those small rounds of ours make a mile? Probably it's 250. But yeah, no, that's fun. One thing I want to say is like the back pain that I think Randy mentioned, I've been having shoulder pain. So all my weightlifting part is gone. So I'm bummed about it. I miss it. But, got to make that happen first and get it better and go for it. Carla, about vacuuming, I have a robot, but otherwise I do like this idea that you can add 1,000 steps just with vacuuming. Tom Lloyd, good to see you after a long time. CrossFit, cardio and strength. You have been very consistent for years, so I appreciate that. Randy has a great point. I want to start slow. Yes, weight gain, and I think just slow is so important, super important. All right. Casey has a question about, do you think Fitbit smartwatches are worth it, considering getting one for motivation? Jamie, what do you think?
If you use it, yes. I started using a Fitbit it was before my son was born, and he's 8 right now. And it got me motivated to walk. I'm extremely goal-oriented, so I tried to do my step goals with my Fitbit. Eventually, steps weren't. I wanted to move up to doing other types of exercise, and so I wanted my watch to keep me accountable for some other things. But it sends me reminders. It actually sent me a message that I was sitting too much today. It kind of yelled at me. So I'm going to have to take one of our walking meetings this afternoon.
Excellent. So there are some conversations around Fitbit. One thing I do want to say is the instantaneous reinforcement is very helpful. Also, being able to see data in the long run is also very helpful. Now, contextualizing it for your diabetes is even more important. One of the things that Iowa Diabetes Portal does is it can, and I'll share this information in more detail, is it can connect your Fitbit to the Iowa Diabetes Portal, and then your doctor and I can see that information. It's super helpful for me to see what's happening with your information, and I'll share that information in a moment.
Yeah, and I think keep the comments coming, keep the questions coming. I do have the next poll for you. I want to know, what is your biggest reason not to exercise? Lack of time, don't know what to do, too tired. And if it's other, you can say other and then include what it is. Knowing this from you guys will really help us guide our conversation on where we go next. So really big question for you.
Yeah, please type in. In the meantime, I'll say for me, some days it's time. Just, you wake up and your first meeting is on. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. So lack of time, finding time. He's saying lazy. I'd say lack of motivation. Alden, busy with school, so time. Tyler, too tired. Ryan, too tired. Carla, motivation. So a lot is lack of time and motivation. So I think there's really good things that we can definitely start on and talk about. So Dr. B, I know you have talked about this with patients we've worked with. What is your best piece of advice for those that say that they lack time?
So I think time, it's one of the most important things is to say, what are my priorities? And then schedule your priorities. Like Stephen Covey says, schedule your priorities. So for me, there was a time when reading or being successful as a physician was important. So lack of time was the issue. Even then, I was able to figure out I have to take care of my health. So the finding the time is, are there things that you can do together? So think about that. And I'm going to combine it with the too tired comment. Let's say you're very tired in the evening and you're very used to just watching the TV. Can you get some stretch bands and do them while you're watching TV? Can you get one of those bike things, which is just this tall? It only has the biking things, not the whole structure. Can you put it down and start doing it? Can you combine it with something else is one key trick, I would say. So I combine my elliptical with the meetings. And that's how I have saved time. I'm just saying, figure out that time. But I think have a very honest conversation with yourself. What is the priority? So my priorities shifted, right? And one of the things, my dad died last year because of high blood pressure and kidney disease. Now, when I saw his ill health, that got me motivated. I said, I don't want to last this way with a lot of sickness in my last 5 years. If anybody has a problem with motivation, we'll share this video from the government of Canada, which I shared only 2 or 3 weeks ago. So if somebody can put that, watch that video. It'll totally impress on you that, it's so important. What I do today adds adds years to my life, but also adds life to my years. Here's the thing. The day I don't exercise, my energy is down. I don't feel as good. Now, Roxanne had a very telling comment, which is like, where do I start? And especially others are saying when I'm too tired. There is a vicious cycle for sure many of us get in. And there's only one person that can break that vicious cycle. That is you. And you do it slowly and steadily with what works for you. In general, human brain needs some hardwiring. 21 days. Do something for 21 days in a row. Even if it was 5 minutes, just do it. Right? And then it starts becoming a habit. So those who are wanting to start with a small thing that you will do daily for 21 days and see that will make a difference. Schedule it, make it a priority, and then schedule it on your calendar for the time part. So those are some things I want to say, but I want to also pause here, see if there are other things you want to add. I have one more point that I want to add later.
I want to add the lack of time, because I struggle with that as well. And so the one piece of recommendation that I think is putting it in the morning right away. Yes, you're probably a little bit more tired, but after I work out in the morning, I am so much more energized than on the days that I don't work out in the morning. My other aspect that I would recommend is exactly what Dr. B says. Put it with something that you like. So I used to go walking a lot when the weather's a little bit better, but I'd always have music playing, or I'd be listening to a podcast series that I am very interested in. And I would only listen to that podcast series when I'm walking or when I'm working out. And I think that was very helpful to keep me going. Thomas, I think your idea to walk around the house or do exercises, and I'll teach you some of those that we can do during commercials. During the TV
like
that you are watching, there's 3 to 5 minutes of commercials every single commercial break. So Why sit there and watch it?
It's a
Walk
great
around the house, do a series of one circuit, and then by the time that you do a 30-minute episode, you've done 15 minutes if there's 3 commercial breaks. Easy way to start it and easy way to get started.
Tom, thank you so much for that one. That's a good one. Yeah.
That was great. How about the too tired, Dr. B?
Yeah, and here's the thing, that is a real thing. And probably there, what we're trying to do is we're trying to do too much. I mean, and again, if you can begin with those 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you can do. So many people try to do it in the evening and then they say, I'm too tired. I think a big trick is to do it in the morning. For me, that worked. Evenings did not work for me for years and years and years. And now when I wake up, I find my laptop, I go to the basement, and before I know, I'm on the elliptical. So that's just a rhythm. So the too tired, I think that's one thing I would say. And pace it. Trust me, your energy levels will improve. Yeah, initial few days, you will feel more tired when you do it. But if you do it right and slowly, it will improve. Going outside and being with nature improves mood, energy, and tiredness. So wherever you can be out is another tip I would say. Jamie, what else would you add to that? The too tired.
I think your recommendation of starting slow is my biggest thing for anybody who's saying that they're too tired. Do 5 minutes and just tell yourself when you're tired, I'm just going to do 5 minutes. And oftentimes you're like, you get through that 5-minute time period and you're like, I can do more, because the first 5 minutes is warm up and then you're getting your energy going and it's starting to flow and you're like, why quit now? So I find the hardest step for me for working out is to just start. Once I start, I go for the whole time period and sometimes even longer than what I expected. So just tell yourself 5 minutes.
So one thing I also say to my patients who are like motivation, or I say just designate one set of clothes for exercise. When you wake up, just wear them. I'm not asking you to exercise. I'm just asking you to wear them. That's all. Don't do anything else. For 21 days, just do that thing in a row. That's all I'm asking today for people who are like, I'm too tired, don't have the time. Just wear your exercise clothes in the morning. There's some great reinforcement in the notes. Carla says, great reminder. I used to exercise during commercials. And by the way, I love that comment. I'm actually going to use it. I sit through the commercial and said, one more. No, just walk away. And Casey, I can relate to you. When I started doing my exercise in the evening, I was more tired. I could not sleep till midnight. And then I wake up at 5 for usual stuff. And then, hey, I'm more tired. So Carla has a great point that I do want to mention. Accountability with someone else. So you can have accountability with yourself by just writing things. I have a calendar on which I weigh myself, not daily, but every few days. If I'm not behaving well, then I actually skip 2 weeks, but that's bad. Anytime I measure my weight, it helps. That's all. So that's accountability right there with myself. But then having it with someone else, that when you talk about, hey, exchange notes on, it also helps. So think about that as well.
I actually have my workouts on my calendar and I like to check off that I've completed it or cross it out. It's just extremely satisfying to me. So that's kind of my accountability. My other reminder is break down the non-scale victories for exercise. Whether you're tracking the number of minutes per day or how many push-ups you were able to do, have whatever exercise that you're doing, keep track of that individual exercise and the progress that you're making. I was able to bike for 15 minutes today. The next day I was able to bike for 20 minutes, or I did 5 miles on the bike, and then you worked your way up to 7 miles. Don't just keep track of, like Dr. Bhargava, it works for weight for him, but keep track of those non-scale victories too, so that you can see the progress that you're making by making your body healthier and stronger. To me, those are far more motivational than watching the scale. Actually, in the last workout program that I've done, I've actually gained weight because I gained muscle. So it's not something that I ever expected to be proud of or telling Facebook Nation, but it actually happened. But I've made progress in the exercises that I've been working on, so I'm kind of proud of it.
Excellent.
I think a couple more. Casey's saying she likes the calendar. Randy, yep. Getting exercise more into routine is what I think we're saying, is you want to develop more of a routine with exercises as you guys are going through some different health changes. So let's go to our next poll, Dr. B, because you guys are having so many great points on the barriers and you're giving each other a lot of tips. I want to see what you guys answer for this one. How do you guys make exercise fun? And is there something that you can recommend to another audience member that might make exercise fun for them? So what do you guys do for this?
While people are, so one of the things that we enjoy in our family the most is dancing. And dance can burn a lot of calories for sure. And I would just say that to me is a total win-win. I enjoy it thoroughly with family, and then on top of that, getting this exercise and really sweating it out, because at that point, there's no barrier of a machine or whatever. You just do what you do. So for me, that's the fun part, making it fun. Holly says music. I think music is a great motivator. So definitely the music that you like that gets you going. I think that's a answer for motivation. Casey is like, hey, get some new workout clothes and look good and feel good and do it. Yeah. Carla.
She had a non-scale victory. That's awesome. That's what NSV, non-scale victory. You walked by those little bees. So that's good.
All right.
So Tom said with small group, he is able to do weekend workout. That's awesome. Working out with your family when you're able to and keeping it safe. Alden says he likes to work out or weightlift with friends. Ryan is also saying podcast or music. Lotta partner. Rohan likes to use his cat as an accountability partner. I like that, Ryan. You like swimming with friends and family and just being in water. That's fantastic. Finding something that you like. Find that activity you like that will keep you motivated back. Something that has a purpose other than just exercise. So I want to know some more examples of that, because I'm with you. I actually keep shoveling the driveway as exercise. I don't have a snowblower. I say I have 3 kids, and I also time my watch whenever there's a big shoveling, and I go out there and I work out. It's got a purpose and I achieve some calories. So I'm with you on that. I do the same thing when I mow the lawn.
Yeah. A lot of music here, a lot of playing with each other, purposeful activity. You know, one of these days, I'm not skilled at this, but if in my retired life, I could do Habitat for Humanity and just do manual labor. Now that's purpose. You know, we go to the Heartland, pack some meals. That's not much weightlifting, but you still end up being a little active. Mm-hmm. So definitely, I think moving with purpose is cool. No, this is great. And the reason we are talking about all these and we appreciate these comments is hopefully everybody is finding something for them. Like today, the number one for me is podcast. Actually, we'll speak to Jamie about some of this. And, you know, I think instead of working on my stuff, I need to start moving away. And so for me, podcast was a big one. The other one was the commercial. So it's kind of cool, the things you have mentioned. I think in terms of these barriers, Jamie, you want to move to barriers, or you want to talk a little bit about some of the things you wanted to show about a few things people can get started with? What would you do next?
I don't have any visuals, so we can take that down. But I want to talk through like how to make how to make exercise fun. So Dr. B, I know you had some things to share on how you make exercise fun and some additional tips for that.
Yeah. So I think my things, I might be repeating myself, but, watching a movie and watching the movie only at that time, playing with friends like volleyball. You can wake me up any time of the day to play volleyball, for example. The golden rule of lifestyle is when you make lifestyle changes, nutrition, activity, whatever. My golden rule is make changes that are enjoyable so that they will last a lifetime. I think the joy part in exercise is extremely important. So I feel very passionate about it. It should not be like, do I have to? Oh, I get to do this. Isn't that cool when you say, oh, I get to be on the elliptical and watch my movie? Oh, I get to go and see someone and do my weights together. Make it fun. And, that's probably the number one trick for priorities, for not enough time, too tired. Make it fun.
As you were talking, Dr. B, one of the things that you said that struck me was I get to. And that was something that I learned probably about 10 years ago. If I change my language from I have to go work out or I get to go work out. And it's how I talk to myself and how I am saying that to my kids. I get to go work out now. And then it's something that I want to do, even if I am feeling lack of motivation that day. If I phrase it that way, it helps me just a little bit more. So it's that self-talk a little bit as well. The other thing is making it fun, but then also making sure that the activities that you're doing are at a good level for you. Everybody is at a different fitness level. From here, we've got people that are doing cross training and CrossFit 4 or 5 times a week. And we've got people that are exercising less than 30 minutes a day. So we've got some different exercise recommendations for you on different things that you can do. So during that 5-minute break that you have for commercials, we actually found a video. And Rohan, if you want to post that video for us, it's 5-minute cardio video that is low impact. You can do it at home. You can do it in a hotel when you're in a hotel, and you can turn that on and start doing that. And it's no equipment, low impact. So if you have knee, hip problems, you can do this video and you can do it easily. Turn it on during one show, do it three times through each of the commercials. And then if you're like me and maybe watch a second show after that first show, then there you've got 30 minutes done in that one day. There's additional things if you're not wanting to do the cardio. Remember, exercise is cardio. Yes, we want to do cardio 3-4 times a week, but we also want to focus on building our muscles a couple times a week as well. And we also want to stretch those muscles back out with stretching or yoga a couple times a week. So your exercise routine should incorporate not only that cardio with the walking, but also the stretching and the muscle. So to do the muscle building, it's simple things that I'm sure you guys have done since elementary school. It's push-ups. Can you do a push-up? And it doesn't have to be a full push-up. At one of the clinics I did, there was a competition between a bunch of people, and they would go around and they would do wall push-ups. And it's just getting on a wall and doing this. So you don't even have to get on the floor. And the farther your feet are from the wall, the harder it is for you because you're putting more weight. So if you're somebody who hasn't done a push-up in 20 years, you can start on the wall and then work your way down to doing it on your knees and doing a push-up based off your knees. I think I'm pretty in shape, but I still sometimes, there are days that I struggle with a full push-up. And so I take no shame in going down to my knees and doing push-ups based off my knees. Again, we've got those videos from Jen. She's got a whole series of 5-minute videos that she did in December that are easy exercises to get you started. But you can also do some squats. And again, a squat is as easy as sitting up and down in a chair. So I've got a chair, and if I'm sitting like this, if I purposefully get up and down, this is the exact motion of a squat. If I do that 5 times, I've done 5 squats. So if you're struggling, again, beginner exercises, purposely getting up and down off of a stable chair like that 5 times, 10 times in a row, that to me counts as exercise. So it's finding those little things, writing it down that that's what you want to do, and checking it off the list when you complete it. How about you, Dr. B? Anything else?
Well, I think I'm interested in I understand you did an activity with the group, kind of this fun activity. First of all, I would say, I think you've shown us a few things that we can do wherever we are, right? And meaning whether we are in an office building, home, and wherever we are, as in what is our strength and what is our ability. And you have shown something that every exercise almost you can, in each exercise you can do certain amount of it. So the main thing is to get started. One thing I would say today, right after this, if you folks, and actually let's do it here. Many of you have already made these goals with us. I was so delighted to see all the goals people made. I would want you to make some commitment today, right here, by saying what you will do for exercise starting, let's just say, next 3 days. Next, I mean, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By next weekend, this coming weekend, what would you start? Can you make some commitment here? I will make a commitment. I had backed off with the shoulder injury. I only do aerobics now, so I will start doing some squats and stuff. Lower body weights is what I am committing to today. That I'll start and maintain. So make that commitment to each other. I think that'll be very powerful. Now I want to kind of get this closer to home. So, and I see some comments coming about commitment. That will be very powerful. Brendan, thank you. About 30 minutes of yoga every morning. And you like yoga, so that's fantastic. Casey's commitment is 30 minutes workout. So just think about that. And whatever you can do, just write it here.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Jamie, what fun stuff do you have for us? I understand. Yeah.
I've got a few things, just a few reminders that we do have the ability to track several different fitness tracks right in Iowa Diabetes Portal. So if you're somebody who uses the Fitbit or an Apple Watch, you can actually connect your tracker to it, and then we can get data, and you can actually track your data straight inside the portal.
And let me say one thing. I love this graph, not just because we made it, but also because it's so powerful. It's your visual of how you're doing in terms of miles, calories, steps, and sleep. And I had some very fun stories with my patients who connected their portal, because once they connect to portal, and if I'm their doctor, I can see this data. Conversations around not having enough sleep or rapidly seeing the impact of exercise on sugar. So this does contextualize. So thank you for sharing that.
Last thing that I wanted to share with you guys, I asked some of the people at Iowa Diabetes some of the ways that they're creative in getting exercise. And we are a team. You see Dr. B and you see me every single week in the month of January and February. You'll continue to see us, but there's a whole group of people behind us, and they're all just trying to get involved. Kathleen snowshoeing dog. We've got me working out with my family. I usually have one or two people out with me in my band. We actually have a bike office, and Christine sits at that desk, and she pedals when she has the time, keeps her motivated and keeps her attention doing. Tara with her home up, kind of similar, basement. And then we have Maya in the gym.
Okay.
I know. She's awesome. And so we've got Maya working on her squats in the gym.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And then, so our challenge for you is to take a picture of yourself being active this week. And it can be a fun activity. We want it to be a fun activity. Or take a sweaty selfie like what I did, post it in the group, and show us how you are active. That's your first step. If you're in the A category, that is your first step to making it to the B, is getting started on it. Just as a reminder, keep sending out those surveys. So if you haven't filled out your follow-up survey we sent them out yesterday, and we'll send out a reminder to fill it again. Fill it out, let us know how you're doing, and keep those pictures to our group, and then join us every week. Next, we're going to talk about blood sugars. We want you control those and don't let them control. So it's going to be a fun talk all about blood sugars.
Excellent. There's a beautiful comment from Carla. Thank you for having this team. I've been finding it very helpful. I feel like it is where I belong and I've looked for a long time. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Totally appreciate it because a lot of work gets put in. It's just to know that we are making a difference. We are changing diabetes in some ways. So thank you everyone for joining. I see the commitments from others walking around the block today with dog tomorrow. I think that's great. Some videos walking at Sam's. So make those commitments. Just the process of writing or typing is very powerful. It gets some other neurons kicking. It does happen. So I think great start today. I want to kind of summarize my thoughts and then I'll ask Jamie as well. Start and start small. So first thing is start small and just start. And I think you've done that today already. Change the environmental cues. Just get in the exercise clothes. And the third thing I would say is make it fun. Any lifestyle change should be enjoyable so that it can last a lifetime. Those are kind of my three takeaways. Jamie, what about you?
Yeah, my biggest takeaways for this week are scheduling it into your lifestyle. Put it in the morning, put it in the evening, whenever you can get it done without getting too tired. But make it your priority and then make it fun. Make it something that you want to do every single day. The last thing, there was a question that I don't necessarily know the answer to, but Dr. B, do you know if we have a upload for Samsung Health?
We will check back and get back to you if the team can note the name. We'll get back to you on that.
Yep.
Possibly not, but they have such extensive coverage on different things that it's possible. So we'll find out and let you know.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining. It's great. You guys give us the energy to keep going. We usually were doing this every 2 weeks. We made it 1 week. We really want to stick with you for this time. This is that experiment of the diabetes community together to really change diabetes. That's what we're all doing at Iowa Diabetes. Let's change diabetes together, and we'll see you next week.
And Tyler, I'm glad that you're using that trial with Jen. I am so excited for that. I actually wanted that giveaway for myself.
Excellent. All right. Take care, everyone.